Hi guys, Matt V's Movies back for another video, and this is the third part of my look at the Alien franchise. Basically, we were looking at all of the Alien films. I'm not looking at Aliens v Predator because that's kind of like a sideline. So the last 2 weeks, the first week we looked at Alien and the editions I've got for that, and then last week we looked at the 4 Alien films and the editions I've got for that. And this week we're focusing on Prometheus, which is like the kind of prequel to the first Alien film, the origins, I suppose, of Alien. So yeah, we're going to be looking at the editions that I've got today, and sort of giving you a bit of film facts and a little bit of trivia about the film. So just before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you'll be informed when I upload a new video. Welcome back to existing subscribers. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. Please give the video a thumbs up. That really does help out the channel and really do appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Have you seen Prometheus? You know, what sort of edition have you got? DVD, 4K, 3D, Blu-ray? Yeah, interested. Pop down in the comments, sort of, you know, sort of what editions you have, or you know, your thoughts on the film. All this kind of thing is great. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm over there and I post pictures. So yeah, go and find me over there. Right, so let's get on with the video today and look at the film Prometheus. Prometheus came out in 2012, and in the UK it was a certificate 15. It is a sci-fi horror genre, and it ran for 2 hours and 4 minutes. After a clue to mankind's origins are discovered, explorers are sent to the darkest corner of the universe. Their different expectations take a toll on them when they find something unimaginable. The release date in the UK was the 31st of May 2012, and this was directed by Ridley Scott. Nominations included Academy Award for Best Visual Effects and a BAFTA for Best Special Visual Effects. Cast included Naomi Rapace as Elizabeth Shaw, Michael Fassbender as David, Charlize Theron as Meredith Vickers, Logan Marshall Green as Charlie Holloway, Idris Elba as Janek, Guy Pearce as Peter Whalen, Sean Harris as Fifield, Benedict Wong as Ravel, Patrick Wilson was Shaw's father, Ian White was the last engineer, and Gianna Fiesco was Shaw's mother. So on to some trivia about the film. So Ridley Scott named the film Prometheus, seeing the name aptly fit the themes. It's the story of creation, the gods and the man who stood against them. In Greek mythology, the Titan Prometheus was an immortal servant of the gods who stole and gave to mankind the gift of god fire, an immeasurable benefit that changed the human race forever. For better or worse, it made mankind dangerous to the gods. For the alien planet, creatures and technology, director Sir Ridley Scott instructed the design team to aim for a look that could logically come before the original Alien in 1979, and thus not to rely too heavily on the Swiss artist H.R. Giger's famous original planet and xenomorph designs. However, almost all of the team's drawings eventually contain subconscious Gigeresque embellishments. Whilst also drawing inspiration from several unused Giger designs from Alien, in the end it was decided to invite Giger himself to come over, who approved of the use of his old ideas and gave additional input on reverse engineering for his original designs from the new film. Further inspiration was drawn from the works of the Russian 3D artist Gulatilin, Alex Sorry if I butchered that name. Giger died of fall-related injuries in 2014, making this the last movie related to the Alien franchise that he worked on, sadly. To prepare for his role as the android David, Michael Fassbender watched Blade Runner, The Man Who Fell to Earth, for David Bowie's androgynous performance, The Servant, and Lawrence of Arabia. Fassbender also studied Olympic diver Greg Louganis, drawing inspiration from David's walk from Louganis's physicality. Both the beginning of time sequence that opens the film and the crash sequences near the end were shot in Iceland over 2 weeks, after both Wadi Rum and Morocco were deemed too politically unstable at the time. Iceland's volcanic Helka Valley was used as the surface of planet LV-223, with rocks placed in the landscape and computer-generated images to provide the planet's otherworldly backdrop. The engineer's sacrifice in the opening scene was filmed at Dettifoss Falls, a location so remote and hard to find. To reach, the crew had to construct roads to get there. So Ridley Scott suggested that an engineer was sent to Earth to stop humanity's increasing aggression, but was crucified, the implication being that it was Jesus Christ. Excuse me. He felt, though, that this would be too obvious a religious allegory for the film. And finally, Charlize Theron was originally cast as Elizabeth Shaw, but had to decline the role due to scheduling conflicts. Later, another change in schedule freed Theron to do the film, thus allowing her to take the role of Meredith Vickers, as Naomi Rapace had already taken the role of Shaw. And so on to the editions that I have. So I've been very fortunate to actually have 2 Filmarena editions, not entirely complete. We'll get into each edition, but yeah, I managed to pick these up sort of on eBay some time ago now, but yeah, pretty reasonable price compared to, you know, these sets can go for a lot of money on eBay, but I managed to get them incomplete, but you know, for a much more reasonable price. So yeah, we're going to sort of dive into each one. We'll have a look at the full slip edition first, and then we'll move on to the lenticular edition. Okay, so this is a full slip edition. I've got a really nice image on the front here, and yeah, it's kind of like a textured feel to this as well. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but there is kind of like a layered sort of texture to it. So now there is a J card, so we'll have a quick look at that first. And as with all Filmarena, there is a little card on the back here. This was limited to 500 copies, and my copy is 87. Behind there's all the tech specs, etc. But I'm not going to take that off because I don't want to sort of rip the card. Okay, so we go to the spine. You've got Prometheus on the spine there. That's very slightly raised, embossed. So that's quite nice. And then on the back, you've got that image of the ship, that iconic ship that we see in the original Alien film. And then obviously this is more sort of focused on this ship in this film. So we'll open it up. Okay, so oh yeah, on the bottom there also we get the number, Filmarena edition number, and then on the top the little quote: "The search for our beginning could lead to our end," and that's slightly embossed as well. So, you know, wonderful presentation as always from Filmarena. Okay, so this set didn't come with the original steelbook. I've actually included the steelbook that I've got. So you get a little booklet there, which will the collector's card, so we'll have a look at those in a bit. We also get a little booklet here as well, some images from the film, and then here's the steelbook. Now this is a kind of mashup. This lenticular here was actually from a French edition, which again, I bought this magnet quite cheap on eBay. And what I've done is, if you can see, the head, which is kind of featured in the film, at the back here, I've kind of lined it up so you've got a lenticular sort of version of the head with the original image on the back. And obviously this scene where they sort of enter this sort of room with all of these sort of pots. So if I remove that, so this was the UK release that we got, and it came with the 3D edition. Turn it to the side, and then on the back got that same image. So inside, and this came with like a little sort of one of these quarter slip J cards, and you can see there it's the 3D edition. So we've got the 3D disc there, special features disc, and the Blu-ray. Just take that out. Take that out there. And at the top there you've got like a little sticker which you get with the Filmarena. That's usually on the cellophane. But yeah, wonderful image inside there. This is when David activates the I'm not sure what you'd call it, stellar cartography kind of mapping system, I suppose. Absolutely fantastic scene that, and wonderful in 3D as well. So yeah, I've say, you know, it didn't come with the original Steelbook, that's why I managed to get it for a much more reasonable price, the set. But I quite like the sort of edition that I've created, as I say, with that sort of you know, sort of lenticular sort of overlay, shall we say, to make that sort of nice sort of image. Then we come on to the collector's cards, and again, with Filmarena, they, you know, give you a lovely presentation to house the cards in. So we've got that image of the one of the vehicles that's sort of on the surface of the planet, and if we turn it round, we've got those buggies, and I'll open it up so it's full image in a minute. So on this side we get the special cards, and on this side we get the character cards. We'll just get the special cards out first. So all on the back of these is a similar image here, that really nice image, you know, with all these hieroglyphics on the wall, and the you know, sad demise of the engineers at the bottom. So if we turn it round, you've got Elizabeth Shaw there. These actually I think are around the other way around, so these are the character cards. I'll put them in the wrong side. Now, I really enjoyed this film. I know for a lot of people they probably wanted more Alien in it, but I really like the origins of this. You know, it's wonderful to sort of get a, you know, a new sort of Alien-esque film after many years had passed, and Ridley Scott embraced the 3D technology as well. He was actually quoted in saying that he would never make a sort of film non-3D again, but it obviously changed when he, you know, sort of had Covenant, I guess, with the 3D decline. But yeah, I thought this was fantastic in 3D, but I'll come on to that in the little review. Okay, so these will actually be the special cards. So again, on these you get this design, which is obviously what we get on the front of the slip box. So I thought these were really cool, these kind of drones that were mapping the system inside of the ship, you know, and you get to see on the Prometheus the sort of whole of the interior of the ship. Obviously these things have mapped it all out, so that's really cool. And then there's a nice shot of the engineer with the sort of creature that he kind of merges with at the end. And there's a wonderful image there, you know, with that sort of sort of head and all of these little jars. Great image there. And these are nice thick card stock, you know, so again, you know, Filmarena produced these wonderful editions. So you can see why they command quite a pretty price on eBay, although, you know, I do think people charge way too much for these things. So I was just lucky. Oh yeah, and this is a really cool scene where this is David's hand, and he's created he's opened up the stellar cartography mapping system on the ship, and he holds Earth in his hand. So I guess this is an indication of where they want to get to. Nice image there. And then the final one, again, this is sort of where he plays that flute, which sort of activates this stellar cartography mapping system. And then just to show you that sort of outer box sort of full spread, just give you a nice sort of landscape image of the planet's surface with these vehicles. And finally, with this set, you get this like picture book. So a wonderful image here, and the back as well. And again, I think that would open up fully. There we go. Got that wonderful sort of panoramic view there. And again, yeah, this is sort of just pictures. It's a shame that Filmarena don't include some text about the film. That would be nice as well, but nonetheless, it's still, you know, still nice to have these, you know, collector's images, collector's books. So, and again, you know, it's really nice sort of premium feel to these. So I thought the set designs and the you know, the creature effects were fantastic in this film. And personally, I feel that Prometheus, the more times you watch it, the more it kind of grows on you, and you see things in it that you may have missed sort of first time round. I say I liked it right from the word go, but I know for a lot of people they were hoping for more sort of alien, you know, terror, shall we say. But no, I thought it was done really well. Got the space jockey there. So yeah, a really nice booklet from Filmarena. Okay, so just before we sort of look at the second edition, I'm just going to sort of give you my thoughts on the film and the sort of picture and sound quality on this one. Okay, so I largely watched this in the 3D version, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. It was finally nice to see an alien-esque film in the 3D format, and this was very much sort of at the time where 3D was sort of very much sort of in vogue, shall we say, and you know, lots of films were being made in the 3D format. And as I say, Ridley Scott was very much impressed with the technology, and I think he used the red cameras, which was specifically designed for 3D. This wasn't a post conversion. This was actually filmed with the 3D cameras in mind, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Say the interior of the ship, you get those corridors that sort of, you know, go on forever, and so I say that those drones that go through and do all that 3D mapping, and you get to see it all on the ship, and you just get you know, an added depth on the Prometheus when you're seeing that, and you're seeing it in 3D. It's just, yeah, it just adds something extra to it, in my opinion. And you know, the sort of, yes, okay, this film doesn't sort of focus on the alien creature. It's very much its origins. It's, I suppose for a lot of people, it's kind of tiptoes around the edges of the Alien sort of franchise, but it's very much is its own thing. I think it's kind of showing where the origins of the space jockey or the engineers, what they were about. It gives us a little bit of information in there, but for me, it's just the visuals in this film that just really blow me away. But I did like the idea of the origins of where these engineers, they created us, and I thought that was quite clever. And it was also nice to have that sort of character of David, and his kind of almost character development within the film. Very much started off as a, just sort of a servant to Peter Whalen, who obviously is very much in the background of this film. You don't see his character until towards the end, but yeah, you can see that there's very much he becomes very sort of fascinated by the alien origins, the goo and the obviously the creature that is kind of developed and stuff. Very much like Bishop from the original sort of Aliens film. His fascination and all of the android. I can't think of the other character, but his fascination with the alien species. There's always been that android sort of connection with the species, being fascinated and seeing it as a perfect specimen and all this kind of thing. So yeah, it was nice to sort of see that continuity of a similar character carrying over into this film. And going on to the picture and sound quality. Now, I don't actually have this on 4K at present. I thought I did have it on 4K, but I've not got them in these editions anyway, so unless it's somewhere else. But to be honest, I mean, for me, the 3D on this is just, so good that it's probably the preferred way that I would watch it. Yeah, I have checked out the Blu-ray, and again, it's, fantastic quality. It's a fairly recent film, this, made in the last sort of 10 years. So, the picture quality is going to be really good. Nice, crisp, images. And again, the audio on this is fantastic. It's a 5.1 mix. Apologies, it's actually a 7.1 DTS master audio mix. So yeah, it's a fantastic sound, sound mix on this one. Left and right separation, you're getting effects from the rear. I'm not sure whether the 4K does have Atmos on it or DTS:X. I'd need to look into that actually. But I probably will pick up the 4K at some point. But yeah, it's a great picture and sound quality on this one, so no complaints here. And so on to the double lenticular version. Now again, this was, as I say, it doesn't contain the original Steelbook, but it does contain all the goodies that came with it. So we've got a fantastic lenticular on the front here. Now on screen, this isn't picking up probably as much as the depth that I'm seeing in hand. This is absolutely fantastic lenticular, so much depth. You've got sort of in the background that you can see a couple of characters running away from the exploding ship. That's kind of the explosion is protruding out of the lenticular, and then obviously got the characters here, coming over the rock face. It's absolutely fantastic, the level of depth on this on lenticular. Move it to the side, and again you've got that sort of slight embossing on the title. And then if we turn it to the back, you get the double lenticular and you get the Prometheus ship. And again, it's fantastic in me looking at it. There's an incredible amount of depth. These jets from the ship are actually coming out. This is coming out of the lenticular. The top of the ship here is actually protruding out of the lenticular as well. You've got a sort of rock surface down the bottom here. You can see there's depth. It's probably not I don't think it's coming up on the camera, but sort of, yeah, trust me, it's coming out, and there's depth to this. It's absolutely fantastic. A really, really nice sort of double lenticular on this set. So again, and also the number on this one. Now this was only 400 copies, and my number is 176. But again, obviously this isn't complete because the original Steelbook that would have been in this set it isn't with this one. So look on the top. They went looking for our beginning. What they found could be our end. And again, that's slightly embossed as well. So I'll just get the contents out and we'll have a bit of a closer look. Okay, so again, much like the other release, you get the collector's cards section and some different artwork on this release. But we'll have a look at those in a bit. And we also get another booklet as well with this one. Okay, so this lenticular here was actually with the set. This would have been on the Steelbook that came with this release. So again, it's a sort of an image of the engineer in that scene where David I've activated the ship's stellar cartography system, and you see this sort of holographic presentation of the engineer who comes and he sits in the seat. Obviously, if you're familiar with the film, and yeah, it's got some nice depth to this. It's very nice. Again, maybe not picking up on the camera as much as I can see it in sort of actually from my point of view. Turn it to the side. We've got Prometheus there. Oh, just take the magnet off. Right. Okay. Now, actually, I've got a bit confused here. Okay, so now this, I've got a feeling this was actually the Steelbook that was in the other set. I don't think this was available in the UK. Been a while since I've taken these out actually, so yeah, I'm not 100% here to be honest. I'm pretty sure that this wasn't in this set, but I think this may have been in the other one, or possibly another release. But anyway, whatever it is, it's with this set. Now, it's picking up in the camera here. You've got some sort of embossing on this engineer, which is quite nice. That should be picking up in the camera. And Prometheus is embossed, and you've got a debossed border. Turn it to the side. You've got the, as I say, the spine there, and on the back, again, that wonderful image of David inside that sort of stellar cartography imaging system, whatever it is, on the back. Open it up, and again, you're getting the Blu-ray disc, the special features, and the 3D disc. So I'm actually got a double of the same thing. I suppose at some point I could actually get the 4K and probably pop the 4K in this one. So I'll have to get around to that at some point. Okay, so there we've got the I forget what the name of it was, the Deacon, I think it was called. Obviously the you know, the early version of the alien, you know, that's produced at the end of the film. And obviously it's interesting to see like the teeth, you know, sort of the human teeth, I suppose, before, and then obviously got that inner jaw, which is obviously, you know, iconic from the original films. So yeah, a really nice sort of design on this one. As I say, I'm not 100% sure which edition this came from, to be honest, but nonetheless, this is what I've got. And again, these are the character cards that you get, the collector's set. So on the back there you've got yeah, slightly different. Obviously this is David holding the globe in his hands, so it's a bit different. It doesn't sort of continue across like the other one did. Now this one, this is just the J card. This one is slightly different, so it's just like a quarter, you know, backing slip, which is a bit different to the other one, but there we go. But there's your card on the back there. And okay, so yeah, this was like second screen movie app thing that came with it. I think this was a digital code at the time. You're welcome to use that if you want, but I think it's probably long expired, to be honest. Right, okay, so again you get the special character cards and the special cards. So yeah, right. On these ones you get that image of the Prometheus landing on the back. So these would be the special character cards. So we've got a nice behind the scenes shot there. Another one. And it's quite nice that they do these sort of behind the scenes kind of views that you would, you know, you'd probably just sort of see this on the special features, wouldn't you? But yeah, quite nice that they've done this. There's that iconic chair, you know, the engineer sits in. Space jockey, whatever you want to call him. Idris Elba. Again, you know, the sets were fantastic. So that was quite cool, that sort of engineer's head that, you know, they sort of reactivated, I suppose. And then we get the character cards. And again, got a nice image, that sort of same image that we've got on the front, the lenticular. So that's quite cool. So we've got Elizabeth Shaw, David, and again these are, you know, like the other ones, really great card stock, thick, you know, quality paper or card. And then the last one, Idris Elba. And again, I mean, this, as I say, this one doesn't wrap around, it's two separate images, but again, it's just a nice booklet, you know, to house these cards in. And finally, with this set, you get this nice booklet again. I think this is just a picture booklet again. Yeah, that pretty much would be a sort of landscape picture. I don't want to open it up though, because otherwise it's going to sort of crease the card or whatever. Oh no, actually we do have some text in here, which is quite nice. So it just shows you how long ago it was I looked at these. So yeah, that's quite nice. Yeah, you're actually getting a booklet in here with some, you know, reading material, which is always nice to see. I thought this was quite cool. The you know, the orange spacesuit, quite iconic look to it. Like a Rubik's Cube. So yeah, you know, once again, you know, Filmarena knocking it out of the park, you know, giving us these fantastic editions. They certainly are one of the best premium format producers of physical media editions. You know, I mean, there are some other good ones. HD Zeta do some fantastic editions, and Manta Lab as well. Kimchi DVD, that's a bit of a mouthful. They also do them. Wheat, but yeah, certainly Filmarena, you know, wonderful lenticulars that they do. Very nice Charlie Theron. And old Wong from Doctor Strange. And that wonderful image there of the engineer's sort of guidance system or whatever it is. So yeah, a really fantastic booklet. So guys, hope you enjoyed looking at those 2 editions of Prometheus. So, you know, really lucky to sort of have these in my collection. Wonderful double lenticular version from Filmarena. Yeah, that's a fantastic edition. And equally so this one as well, the full slip edition. You know, with all the art cards and all the rest of it. It's, yeah, they do produce some fantastic editions. Okay, so come back next week for the final part, where we're going to be looking at Alien Covenant and the editions I have for that. And I'll give you a bit of facts and trivia about the film as well. So, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't checked out the other 2 videos, if you look in my playlist, there'll be probably an Aliens playlist in there, or science fiction. But yeah, go and have a look and check out those videos if you haven't already. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye now.